Great to be with you as always. If you're tuning in, fresh off of spring break. All right, welcome back. We're good. Schedule's normal now. That's too many days off. That's too many days off, I got to tell you. For all of you, your kids, the teachers, me, all of you. Get back to work. Let's go. Now, here's what I'll tell you. Today's first segment, first hour here, we have an interview. Big Meech, D'Mitri Emmanuel, going to join us in the middle of the hour. This segment is from today, but recorded because currently I am talking to Mike Norvell and or one of his many assistant coaches. It is the start of spring football today, and it begins with, as always, Mike Norvell addressing the press, and there'll be a Q&A that is public. It's him at the dais, and then that is followed by all of us in the assembled media that have been invited to be able to talk to coaches, including Mike, and then I will race back over to the studio at 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV here for a live second hour of the show, reacting to what we heard and what I'm currently, noting over at the More Athletic Center. So that's how today goes. And then obviously practice begins tomorrow. So we're a go. A lot to catch up on. That includes saying hello to my boy Tom Lang. Hello, good sir. Noles are playing quite well. Another baseball victory, and you and I can kind of lead with that if we want before getting into the football and before Big Meech joins us. I tell you what, they're winning in other ways now. This is a defensive win, a pitching and defense over the last two games, and it's a clean sweep, and how fitting it is that you sweep the Irish on St. Paddy's Day.
Oh, how fitting. Yeah, some might say hubris. I say enjoy your dump of a town after being swept in both of your ACC series. Hello to you. I'm congested, but I'm good. I feel a hell of a lot better. This is very nice. Always like it when the spring break is met with some sort of malady. But the good news was, this is the modern time. I get all Florida State sporting events. And to watch these starters on Friday and Saturday strike out 22 members of the Irish, to see Cam Leiter hit 97 in the later innings, in the last inning of his start, to see that wipeout slider at times is exciting. To know that Jamie Arnold is not just a non-conference flukish type pitcher, and to see him give up his first earned run of the season, but to strike out 12 over the course of 5 2/3. Would I like to see a little bit more efficiency in the pitch count? Sure, but it's great to see the consistency there. And then it does appear that Florida State has at least whittled it down to a couple of key pitchers for the late innings. We know that Carson Dorsey was always going to be one of those players, but well done, Brendan Oxford, to get some huge outs this weekend. Friday and Saturday to get some huge outs in big spots. He closes the game outright on Saturday, but on Friday, bags loaded, comes in, gets 3 outs in total. Looks like they might have a couple of their high leverage pitchers that they were searching for. Defense was clean this weekend. Fired up, man. I'm fired up. 18-0. Keep it going.
Yeah, you can't be anything but fired up. That's a 7-out save for Dorsey, and that's kind of, it's interesting. You go back. We had the good fortune of talking to the head coach along with 2 assistants, and talking to Coach Posey, I should say. When I asked him the question about a closer, he's like, we don't know. We don't have a closer right now. We've got some guys we like in that situation, and we're going to play it by ear. That's fine. There are a lot of ways to win baseball games, and you don't have to be conventional. In fact, the modern game of baseball is less conventional than ever. And so if you have matchups that you like in one game, or it works out well, I mean, maybe it's a lefty-driven lineup that you're facing, and so Dorsey can come in and dominate from that side, or you never know. But you just need to have the requisite arms that you trust in key situations, who can miss bats, who are effective at throwing strikes. And so, and can handle the pressure of a 1-run game in those moments. And so you've seen already this year a couple different guys fill that role. And it does seem to me that they're going to just utilize people who are capable of pitching 2 innings, 3 innings to close out games. They don't need a traditional 1-2-3 closer, and that's fine as long as you have somebody with the requisite stuff. 18-0, I really think that we have to put it in perspective. I don't know that it means Florida State's going to the College World Series. I don't know if it means Florida State even wins a regional. I don't know if it means Florida State wins the ACC. None of that it can be known just yet. They're going to be a contender of some sort because they're a good baseball team, and I do think that the bats are going to play all year long. I think the bats are going to play all year long. So I understand that this weekend you have a couple games where you only score 4 runs. I would point out, if you look at some of the numbers, they had a ton of hard hit balls that were right at people that would have led to big runs. That was baseball being baseball more than it was Notre Dame's pitching staff. And I say that with all respect to what Notre Dame was able to do on the mound, because coming in, they couldn't pitch a lick. And after the first game, you thought, well, that holds true. But they did better, obviously, over the next 2 contests. But I think they were bailed out a little bit here. I think if you play those 3 games again, and the same balls that Tibbs hit or Cantu hit, a couple shots down the line, one over second base that's going to clear the bases, and it ends up being a great catch and an out that ends the inning, I think Florida State would have put up more runs. So it is remarkable. I was at the stadium on Saturday talking with Corey, and a listener and a huge FSU baseball fan walked up to the 2 of us to discuss the team, and he said, this is nothing short of crazy. I mean, I came to the games last year, guys, and it was heartbreaking to watch this program. And I'm just sitting here incredulous, is what he was saying, that they're better. We all knew they'd be better, but they may be great. They may be. I mean, that's also true. They may be.
Well, what you're seeing is a lengthening in the lineup, and that's the key. Is it's not just that they were carried this weekend by 1 or 2 guys. I get Ferrer hits home runs on Saturday and Sunday, but Lodi's, when him getting hot recently, that's not a fluke. He's a nice player in that lower third or maybe in the 6th hole in your lineup. A lot of these guys that you rotate in, like, a catcher, you're platooning right now, but I think you've got 2 good options there. They're still searching in the leadoff spot. I was worried after what I saw from Diamez on Tuesday down in Gainesville. Like, is he slumping? Well, the staff thinks he does, because they're trying out a couple of guys in center field. I know they let Williams hit in the leadoff spot for a couple of games over the weekend. But again, he's a good baseball player. That he's going to be fine in the lineup, and he's going to give you production. The heart of that order looks good. Din just doesn't look to be overwhelmed by going from community college to full-on college. Ferreau's going to be a really good player. Yes, those bats should travel, even though if you want to break it down and be slightly pessimistic for a second, after the barrage that starts on Friday, you score 10 runs the rest of the series. Now, You make them count. You make them stretch and count to get you to the sweep. But again, there's more to be so excited about. And this weekend, you got Stetson tomorrow, which is one of those weird things where the first day of football practice will be met with the sounds of ping at Dick Howser Stadium as you're watching. They're going through batting practice, and then the first couple innings of the game as we're getting interviews from the coaches and the players. I love that crossover thing that spring provides. That's one of the fun deals. But then you go to Clemson this weekend. And if you look at what Clemson's done so far this season, you could look in the RPI, the ISR, wherever you want to look. Clemson is in a really, really good spot. Been impressive, 13-1. They're 2-1 in the ACC. Another great test to take this show on the road and see about the maturity level of the pitching staff in a situation like that. For example, like Cam Leiter runs hot. We all know this. If you've watched 1 inning from Cam Leiter so far this season, you know that he's a heart on his sleeve type pitcher. All right, what does that look like on the road at Clemson, facing some adversity? Just they've passed every test with flying colors. I can't wait to see what comes next, which is the exact opposite of last year, which is I can't watch. This is so awful. And even though that, I think Cam on Friday night got away with an error. I think it was very much a college baseball scoring of an infield single. Dude, they're leaps and bounds better defensively than they were last year.
Oh, they pick, yeah. Well, the defense kind of won the game. Yesterday. I mean, Notre Dame had some foibles, and it cost them dearly. And pitcher throws the ball away, and that leads to the go-ahead run. And in essence, Florida State not making those mistakes, making all the routine plays and a few really great plays, dictated terms. By the way, so people get caught up in the rankings and all that. But to your point about the Clemson team that Florida State's going to play. Florida State is facing Clemson when they go on the road, is the number 1 RPI team in the country. By the way, should be noted, Florida State's number 3. So can we wake up, everybody? I mean, good Christ. I don't care that much. It's the regular season. There shouldn't be any of the services that somehow have Florida State anywhere near outside the top 25. Like, it's going to be funny when we check them later today or tomorrow, and you're like, oh, well, suddenly unranked to number 2 in the country. See?
Well, so here's what I'm going to be interested in. Again, we're recording this before that ranking D1 baseball specifically, I think, is the one we're looking
Well,
at.
that's the one that doesn't have them ranked, right?
Yeah, I engaged them yesterday from the Warchant account. To their credit, they responded right away.
What'd they say?
They sent the guy with the giant haircut, and he nods like, "All right, it's time." Because I said your move, and I gave them my man from from Caddyshack. We're waiting.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they
yeah.
responded right away and kind. I was like, all right, at least you know you screwed up.
Well,
But
it's
I
just
want it to
silly.
be in a week where the Florida Gators were number 8 at 10-5 when the week started.
Mhm.
They go 2-2 against Florida State and Texas A&M. Are the Gators still ahead of Florida State in D1 baseball's grand rankings?
It'll be interesting. I don't know how to answer that because D1 is obviously weird. I mean, you got to go 18-0 to get ranked.
Right,
But
well, it's 12-7 versus 18-0. Let's see what they do. I'm very interested.
Well, the thing I'd say about that, that's a really good week for Florida. If you go 2-2 against Florida State and Texas A&M, it's funny that win that they got over Texas A&M left us as the lone undefeated team in college baseball, and Florida State is the lone undefeated team in college baseball. There's something to be said for that. It's just a nice little nugget. Doesn't win you anything. It's just really cool.
So Lincoln gauged that. I don't know if you saw that clip when Florida State was finally the last one, and he was asked about it. And a lot of times a coach would just redirect in that situation. Yeah, we're thinking about tomorrow. We're thinking about the next game. And he actually engaged and said, "Actually, I talked to my wife about it. And I said, that's really hard to pull off. I've never done it in my career. That's a really hard thing to pull off." I said, "Thank you. I'm not saying that you need to live and want a parade for doing this thing that won't matter come the selection show in a couple of months. But how about enjoying it? How about kicking back and enjoying the fact that you've done something truly badass in an athletic department, an athletic program that's littered with things that are truly badass in the last 30 to 40 years? In a way, Link, you already have one of your moments. One of your signature moments is to get to this place."
What I would say about it, and what makes me happy about it for him, is that we both know, and it's well documented, that Link grew up as a huge FSU baseball fan. So he's an historian in that sense. He grew up here and he went to the games and he dreamt of playing here. And he obviously then made that dream come true. And not only did he make it come true, he became one of the better players to come through the program, as we well know. And I remember his career. I was in school when he was in school. I saw him play baseball. I remember every second of it. So we know that he cares. We know that he knows the history and that he cares and that it means something to him. And why do I bring that up? Well, it had to have really stung last year to post the worst record in Florida State baseball history because of the same thing, the same reasoning, right? That's a guy that knows the history, understands the lore of Florida State, is part of it, and then had to endure that. So here you go. Here's a little something back, man. Good job. You're now in the books, man. You're 18-0. This is really neat and good for you. You're also part of that. It's a nice little, okay, allow me to retort. So good for him.
Guys, you know what? Not that I need you to tell me how good I am, but I think I'm pretty good. Look at this. Look at what I did. This is pretty good.
Well, he's a serious person, and I think that he's treated all of this very seriously in a very detailed manner, and it's paying off, and you like to see that. I appreciate that. I like to watch somebody have something come to fruition that they've put a little time and effort and focus into, and he cares, and he has a passion to go along with the analytic mind, right? So there's a lot going on there. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a great series against Clemson on the road. I will tell you that it's funny, Tom, I know given the circumstances – you did have a chance recently to come back, but that stadium is a buzz. It is just a buzz. And to see it filled even during spring break was really cool. And talking to fans, going over there and running into Florida State baseball fans and seeing that re-energized, that glow of hey, we're back. We're the thing we always used to be.
So the week that we play Florida in Tallahassee and we play Miami in Tallahassee.
Oh, that's a good week.
I'll be there to catch one game of each series. Dude, I cannot wait. And I can't wait to see these bats in person, man, because this is one of the things when we're good, I know you do this. It's akin to opening the newspaper and checking the box scores every day.
Yeah.
But checking I call it the rave report because that's just the internet term, but like the PDF of our stats. Like after every game, like, oh, I can't wait to just look at that PDF. This is awesome stuff.
Well, it's impressive. I mean, it's insane.
Our team ops is 1060.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
They're legitimately they're hard to pitch to. They have good at bats. That's last thing on this. It's not just that they're winning, and that's a big part of it. That's the biggest part of it. But they win in a way that's pleasing. They run the bases exceptionally well. Yep. I don't remember the last time I used that phrase to describe Florida State on the base paths. Exceptionally well. So they steal bases at an alarming rate. What, have they been thrown out once?
28 out of 29. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've been thrown out one time. I mean, Jesus, that's pressure on opposing pitchers and catchers. They take the extra base. They're extremely aggressive in that way. They hang in there in their ABs. A lot of professional ABs. Foul it off, that borderline pitch, hold, like just a lot of professional ABs. They make people work. So if you're going to pick up the baseball, as we alluded to earlier, and you're going to run the bases well, and you've got a lengthened lineup that puts the ball in play, you don't strike out a ton. You have pro ABs. I mean, this is what a good baseball team looks like, and it's fun to support that.
So opponents have struck out 236 times. Florida State struck out 119.
Yeah.
And for the pitching staff's part of it, 236 is the number of strikeouts Florida State's registered. 81 walks, nearly a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio for the entirety of the staff, which is nuts. I think if we're going to get frustrated with this group at any period of time, it's going to be a string of like 6-5, 7-4 losses. Like I feel like that. If you're going to slump, it's going to be because the pitching staff gives it up a little bit, but they haven't yet, baby. They have not yet. 18-0.
All right, so the Battle's In often will provide for us a player. We do a ask Warchant anything type thing on the gold boards there, or the Renegade Room, if you're a gold member, and we end up having questions posed to Florida State football players. We've done this a couple times now. I spoke last week with D'Mitri, or a week before even, I think it was, with D'Mitri Emmanuel, and asked the questions that our Warchant members posed to him, and we also had some just dialogue together. He was delightful. This is a guy who's played a lot of football and is also really good at providing content himself as he interviews players. But this was me talking to D'Mitri Emmanuel. You'll hear it when we come back from this break. I think you're going to like this. Jeff Cameron, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Attention Florida, are you a victim of an auto accident? We introduce our live chat sponsor, Hyson Lika Law Firm, dedicated to representing injured clients statewide. If you've been in an accident, call Hyson Lika Law Firm at 813-803-0733 for a free consultation. Remember, there's no cost to you unless they win. Your interests come first with Hyson Lika Law Firm, the name you can trust for justice. Call 813-803-0733 now or visit HysonLikaLawFirm.com. Hyson Lika Law Firm, your advocate in times of need.
Pain to help slow arthritis down, keep the patients active with no downtime and getting back to what they enjoy doing. I mean, I love what I do.
QC Kinetics regenerative treatments from our board-certified providers help heal and restore aching joints. No surgery, harmful drugs, or downtime. Call for your free consultation today.
Call QC Kinetics, 850-391-4280. That's 850-391-4280. 850-391-4280.
This is Jay of Paul's Termite and Pest Control. There are many companies out there selling pest treatment programs at prices which seem too good to be true. Like most things, you get what you pay for. Let's separate the fact from the fiction. Fiction. The price these companies offer includes all visits needed to keep a home pest-free. Fact. Their prices only include regular visits for exterior treatments. If you encounter pests inside your home, these companies will charge you for additional visit. Is that really pest prevention? At Paul's Termite and Pest Control, we always apply exterior treatments, but our plan includes a significant difference. Whenever you encounter an interior problem, Paul's technicians are there, usually the same day you call, and there is no extra charge. With ProShield, you'll never pay extra for providing the service we promised. Pest prevention for your home, and we'll be there as many times as needed to honor our commitment with no extra charge. Paul's Termite and Pest Control is a local company that proudly served the Tallahassee area for over 50 years.
For the elimination of termites and any other pests,
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
and we make lawns greener too.
Hey man, have you heard the sound? Talford Jewelry's the best in town. Rings, diamonds, earrings, bracelets, and more. Then Talford Jewelry Store.
When was the last time you randomly did something nice for someone that means a lot to you? Now, I say this every day at the end of my show for everybody to be a better person today than you were yesterday. Well, one way to do that is to drop into Pentalpha and get a gift for someone who deserves it. It'll brighten their day, their week, maybe even their year. You don't have to wait for a holiday or special occasion, so don't wait to go check out a true local gem serving Tallahassee since 1988. Now, sing along with me, and I'll see you at Pentalpha.
Social Kitchen is now open on Cary Forest Parkway near Ology Northside, Tallahassee's only premier market where you can receive the famed Snake River Farm steaks and premier meats. Social Kitchen also has chef-prepared meals and sides ready to serve in just under 20 minutes. Perfect for those very busy springtime weeks, weekends, you name it. Hosting some people at the house. Hey, Social Kitchen also has build-your-own charcuterie boards and catering. Stop in and visit Social Kitchen today or visit us online at socialkitchentlh.com. socialkitchentlh.com. We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com multimedia network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com.
All right, another edition of Ask Warchant Anything with our student athletes. And today's guest is, you guys can see him. There he is, D'Mitri Emmanuel. Big Beach.
Yes, sir.
Is the way to do it. Hey, listen, the behind the visor thing is good. I went and watched every episode you've done. You're getting better. You're coming for my job, man.
No, I appreciate you, man. Any tips and advice I can get, I'll take it all. So I appreciate you just tuning in.
I have a feeling I'll be talking with you in the coming months anyhow. So you and I could talk shop. I couldn't have talked to you about playing offensive line, but I could talk to you about broadcasting.
Yes, sir. No, I definitely appreciate you.
What you been up to, buddy? I know you're doing a lot of stuff with the Battle's End, obviously.
Yes, sir.
Before we get into these questions, anything you want to tell us about what you're doing these days besides kicking butt with behind the visor?
Yeah. So, that's, they've presented me an awesome opportunity, to just continue. I was always kind of just a little bit passionate about, broadcasting and, just taking that type of role. So, working with Ingram and Max has been great. Just, being able to just help me out with that. I know they've been into the same type of field. So, it's just been presenting me an opportunity to just, do something outside of football while also right now I'm training for the NFL draft. I'm here working out at Florida State, doing pro day, and which is actually in about 2 weeks now today. So pro day training has been my main focus, and then really just helping out with the guys in the team, really just seeing what the team's looking like, trying to help out there. So just trying to continue to just put myself in the best position.
Did you? I'll be at that pro day. Did you throw yourself into it? Like yesterday, I was out there for tour of duty at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
and had a lot of fun watching that. I have fun watching that every year. The guys look great. Did you throw yourself into that to stay sharp?
Nah, man. I'm gonna leave that to the guys on the team now. You know, I definitely did my time, so you know it's been good. But no, I'll leave that to the other guys right now. They've been working really hard though.
They have. All right, here we go to the questions. The first guy is Grumpy BK. That's his handle. He says, thanks for taking the questions, Meech. What is the most difficult aspect of being an offensive lineman in FSU's offensive scheme? And the second part of that is, how does that differ from other systems that you've played in?
Yeah, so you know, I've had a new offensive line coach every season I've played. So you know, I was always, I felt like a new scheme up until actually I came to FSU. So there's always a new scheme, a new schematics. I would say being an offensive lineman here at Florida State, you know, the offense changes week to week. So for one, you know, you might be a great blocker individually, but if you can't mentally process the changes and the checks that we're going to have to make on offense to put ourselves in the best position, because one thing about the offense here is that we are always going to put ourselves in the best position against whatever defense that we're in and make sure that we have proper leverage. So, you know, you have to really be able to understand. So I would say probably the mental capacity that it takes to play here at Florida State, because, you know, at this level, you know, a lot of guys have ability and, you know, athletic and, you know, have all the physical traits, but, you know, the ones that separate themselves are the ones that can put it all together mentally and physically.
Trisco asks, tell us about the focus it takes to be an offensive lineman and working together as a unit. Do practice officials help you guys focus with preventing penalties?
Yeah, so we do have practice officials out there at practice. So and they're with us pretty much every drill. So if you're holding, you know, they'll throw the flag, or, you know, if it's like a false start, if you false start, they'll always throw the flag so you can get your feel. You know, and Coach Atkins actually punishes us every time. You know, we have a false start or any type of like mental. You know, mental mistake, mental lapse of because ultimately, you know, you have to be able to focus in the moment when you're out there. So the practice officials, they do help us out, and it translates to the game. You know, it translates to the game. We try to be the least penalized team in each game. So, but yeah, I mean, it takes a tremendous amount of focus. You know, you have to be able to communicate with the guys left to your left and right. And then you also have to be able to focus on your job and make sure you're dominating your assignment too. So, you know, it's definitely you know, it's not an easy job, but, you know, it's fun. It's a fun one once you put it all together.
I imagine it is once you figure it out, right? And then you can let those physical tools go to work because you got the mental handled. Third Noel has a two-part question. What's the most hostile game environment that you've ever experienced? And out of these two teams, which is your least favorite, Florida or Miami?
Oh, man, no, don't like either of those teams. Can't lie, but I would say my the biggest rival is like Miami. I would say more. You know, the Florida game, the Florida rival, it's you know, it's fun, but yeah, I definitely have more hatred for Miami. I feel like me personally.
I share that with you, sir.
Yeah, yeah, man. But I would say the loudest environment or biggest environment, I would say two games. Florida, because this past season, just playing at Florida, you know, especially with the adversity that we had, you know, with losing our quarterback, having to go in there and you know, win the game. They got pretty loud, so I'll give it to them. It was probably one of the loudest places, and then. I would say Clemson, going Clemson on the road. That was a pretty loud environment too. We had to go silent cadence, and you know, it was nice to get the dub.
I always wonder this. That game was awesome, obviously, overtime. What is it going through your mind at all? Just what's on the line each play in the waning moments of a game, or are you solely thinking about assignment?
No, I mean, you know, it definitely goes into your mind. It's part of the mental preparation, I feel like, because mentally you have to put it on yourself as, you know, I always took the approach as, you know, if I don't do my job, we're going to lose the game. You know, so that type of mental stress, I feel like, forces you to, you know, put your best out there. And so, you don't want to necessarily be thinking about it in each moment of the play or each moment but when you come to the sideline and, you had a 3 and out, you talk to the guys like, hey, come on guys, you know what we need to do. We got to go, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So that, I would say it's more so that just the mental preparation it takes. But, yeah, when you're out there, you kind of want to be focused on your job and your assignment, and when you get to the sideline, it's more of a reset, remind each other, come on, let's go. We're here to do something big.
Ronald asks, which young offensive line on our roster, young offensive lineman on our roster, should people keep an eye on that you think have a chance to do some real big things at FSU?
It's a couple of really guys that, from I've seen this spring that's been doing really well. I would say, Jalen Early is a young guy who's been around. This is going in his 3rd season now. Been able to watch a lot of old guys. I would say Andre Otto. He's been really diligent in trying to take the next steps as go into his 2nd year. And you can see he has a lot of hunger and want to. So I'll say those are two guys really that Julian Armella too. He's a guy coming in his 3rd season. So I'll say all 3 of those young guys have done a really good job. Trying to take that next step. We'll see. Hopefully they can continue doing it throughout the spring practice and showcase themselves. But I would say those are 3 guys right there that are going to be that have been putting in the work, and I'm looking forward to seeing how everything plans out for them.
Next question from the board is, what did the evolution of the offensive line look like behind the scenes? Take us through your time when you got here to the time that you were done playing for Florida State. What was that evolution like?
Yeah, so coming into Florida State in the summer of 22, Dylan Gibbons was there, a leader of the offensive line. I still have Maurice, Rob Scott, and those guys that still play like a lot of ball. Darius too, and so but we didn't really have a lot of younger guys that were ready to go. It was kind of just us, and then so me coming in. I just wanted to come in and add value as just like a leader, trying to mentor the younger guys. And so we, it was a lot of fun that year in 22. Just going out there every week. I felt like we was rushing for like 200 yards a game. So but before I even got here, there's a lot of progress that was already been made. You added Dylan Gibbons. There's been a lot of changes. Getting some guys out, getting some guys in, that were right fits. And so, they'd already done a good job. I really was just trying to come in and add as much value as I could. So, and then coming into last season, we had Casey and KJ from Auburn. And, I was still waiting on a waiver to see if I was even going to be, coming in. So, it was really cool just being able to get my waiver and then come in and just continue to get to know those guys and form the relationships that we have. And then with Bless Harris coming back off injury, we had like 8 guys that could all go out there, and we all felt confident that we could go get the job done. So I would say it just the brotherhood got even tighter. Which really just speaks to the culture, because it's not usually that happens when you get a bunch of transfers. Guys want to be on the field, guys want to play. But I think the genuineness to see each other win and have the brotherhood, kind of helped us get closer, and we was all confident, and we all supported each other going out on the field. And so that's why we could go out there and play with 8 guys, and nothing really changed. Really played at each other's strengths.
Jerry wants to know, Meech, how difficult is it for the offensive line to play as a cohesive unit? He goes on to say he's been very impressed by the progress that we were just talking about from 2020, 2021 to 2022, how far they're along. But how difficult is it to play cohesively?
Yeah, I would say it is very difficult, just because I wouldn't say difficult. I just think it takes time, to develop the personal relationships off the field. I think that just helps. Playing on the field, knowing each other, kind of being able to watch film together and seeing how someone else sees the game, so you can, play fast together. So just like a relationship I have like with Maurice and like JB, just being able to know how they think. Like JB might not, know what's going on as fast as I can, so I can go ahead and let him know, hey, they're about to blitz. So you know what I'm saying? Just give keys like that, or if sometimes the defense moves late. Maurice can't communicate with the whole offensive line, but I know what he's thinking. I know he sees that. So but that takes time, just really building relationships like off the field. So
that's pretty cool to hear, though.
Yeah.
I think people always wonder about that. That's cool to hear. Nolan Parker writes, how are your workouts? They know you're working out for pro day. How are your workouts impacting your 40 time and your bench press?
Yeah, man, it's going well. The pro day is going well. So this is my second one now. So I feel like I got super experience and I'm ready to go. But hopefully this is the last time I got to run a 40. You know what I'm saying? I can just go ahead and just keep playing ball. But yeah, it's been going well. Coach, one of the strength coaches here, Coach Farn, has been doing a great job with me. I trained with him last year too. So just ain't nothing I ain't used to at this point.
Nice. Wine and Cheese says, I'm from Charlotte, Meech.
Yeah.
I left back in 2005 to go away to college. He wants to know, did you like the Queen City while you were there? And also, he says that every time he goes back, the food is on point. He wants to know, did you get you some Carolina barbecue while you were there?
Yeah, no, I love Charlotte. I ain't gonna lie, I love Charlotte. That's where I was in high school there, even college. The city of Charlotte to me is great, and there's a lot of good food. In Charlotte, a lot of good food places. A couple steakhouses I like to go to. It's a couple good barbecue spots, but I think it's a beautiful city. But personally, I really do love Charlotte. So yeah, you definitely got to get a chance to go back over there if you haven't been.
By the way, this kind of is teed up nicely from one question to the next, because Bo Knowles wants to know, what's your favorite food spot in Tallahassee?
Ooh, there's a couple spots I got. If I'm looking for some wings or like a nice little sports bar, Glory Days is one spot I like to go to. It's another spot I recently just found called Beef O'Brady's. It's they got great nachos. This is a good time, being able to watch the games or whatever's on with TV and stuff like that. But hibachi, I would probably say Nagoya. The guys used to get on me because I always used to try and go out to eat with the O-line, and that's why I always would suggest to go there. So I'll probably say those two spots, and then it's a steakhouse that's inside like a hotel. I can't remember what it's called, but that's
Shula's.
Yeah, Shula's. I like Shula's. Yeah. Shula's
it's easy to like.
Spot. Yeah, that's those are probably my favorite spots, man. That's probably where you catch me at.
Kind of following up on that question, he wanted to know, and I'll just simplify it. If you had just one meal for the rest of your life, what's on your plate?
Dang, that's a tough one. I love me some steak. I ain't gonna lie. So, if I could have all the different types of cuts, different day, ribeye, filet, prime, just a regular New York strip, I'll just switch it off. Wagyu, it don't matter. Just keep switching them out. I'll probably do some steak and some veggies too, and some potatoes.
Sprinkle in some veggies, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
You sound like my son. Every night he comes home. He's a sophomore in high school. Every night he comes home. Dad, you making steak tonight? I was like, I just made steak last night. He's like, well, there's other parts of the steak you can make.
Yeah, exactly. You can't discriminate. It's all good. Marinated differently. So I would say steak, man. It's probably one of my favorites.
That's good. Neil27 wants to know, what was your favorite play all time while you were at FSU? What's a play that stands out to you more than any other? Could be anything.
I feel like it's been a lot of great plays. I would say one that I watched was when I seen Shaheen block that kick versus LSU in 22. Mm-hmm. That was just like oh my goodness, like the feeling of joy, like the emotion. It was just like, that was probably one of the craziest plays I've seen. Even watching Keon get the overtime win in Clemson, that was dope, because I just remember go celebrate with him, and Darius was just screaming in his ear like, I love you. And I don't know why I remember that so vividly, but it was just like that was just a great moment, especially because that win meant a lot for so many people. But even the Oklahoma, I think one of the plays I made in the Oklahoma game, we was going back and forth in like the fourth quarter, and I pulled out, and Trayshawn Ward had scored like a nice little touchdown off the run, and a little bit later on, it was a screen we ran to Trey Benson that kind of set up that last little field goal so we can go ahead and win the game. And I like got out on the screen and just got the guy just enough, and Trey took it like about 40 more 50 yards. So, I mean, we have guys like that. It's just easy. Just make sure you do your job. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do too much. Just want to make sure I do what I need to do because they'll make plays. But I would say that those are just some of my favorite moments.
I saw you ask Shaheem Brown on Behind the Visor about that block. That was nice. Nice.
Yeah, man.
I was down on the field for that. I had to go. Yeah. I was getting ready to go do the post-game interview with Norvell, and I saw the block. I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah, bro. Like it was just crazy. Like because like you said, Shad say he wasn't even supposed to even do that, but it was just like what? Sometimes the instinct just kicks in, and then I mean, it was obviously we was about to go score, put the game away, and we fumbled at the 1 yard line. So for the defense to have our back, that was a big play, man. Like. Yeah. That was a big play. They took it down 99 yards and they didn't finish. Like, and we work on that every day. That's part of our identity. So,
were you surprised he didn't go for 2?
Looking back, yeah, but it's.
I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad. I don't want to think about it if he did. You know what I'm saying? He lost the game. And then he had a chance to get revenge next year, and he didn't. So.
No.
So I thinking back, like if you got all the momentum, go for it,
Yeah,
but
I thought he was wrong for doing that, Meech. I thought he should have gone for 2, but screw him.
Yeah. But cool with me. We'll take the block, especially after we already blocked one. Yeah.
That was great. Final couple here. Neil 27. Oh no, I already asked that one. Tennis Ump wants to know, what are your realistic expectations for this year's team? And thank you for all you did for this program. That was nice.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you so much for saying that. I think the expectations are, for the team to go out there and be their best. I mean, we've laid a foundation, and now they know how to win. You've got guys that have come in that are right fits for the culture. And knowing Coach Norvell, knowing the work, the standard is not going to change at all. So what you've seen on these past couple of years, even since I've been here, let's say 2022, people weren't really expecting us to have the season that we had that year, and we won 10 games, and it was like, oh, how can we follow it up? We won 13 games, so you never can put limitations on these guys. We work our butt off, and it's not sometimes things might not go our way, but it's just how you gotta go respond. So I think I don't want to put any limitations on this team. I really think they can go all the way. If they just continue to put their head down and work and do what's necessary, everything's out there for them. So that's realistic to me.
Hey, I know you're doing a bunch of stuff with the Battles In. This is part of that as well. I think you may not know it, but I think I'm going to see you at my golf tournament in about a month. Okay. So I look forward to hanging out with you there. We appreciate it at Warchant. I appreciate it on the Jeff Cameron Show. I know the Battles In appreciates it. They've done a lot for a lot of guys, so it's cool to see you guys working with them and doing a lot of good stuff. But
man.
Hey, man, be safe. Good luck at Pro Day. I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all having me on here. It's been no problem. It's been fun.
All right. Take care, me. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Here, Gabriel and Sarah Warren were both arrested and face felony charges of sexual battery in connection to the incident. In March 2023, a woman who said she had known the Warrens for about 4 years told police the couple came home from a date one night and made sexual advances. The couple physically prevented the woman from leaving the home multiple times. She was eventually able to leave the premises, and upon doing so, she sent her ex-boyfriend a text message that read SOS. As a result of the allegation, Sarah Warren was placed on administrative leave indefinitely. The Florida Bar stated if attorneys are convicted, they automatically lose their law license. The Florida Bar also said generally does not take disciplinary action against attorneys charged with a crime unless and until they are found guilty. This is Rachel Anay with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 72. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, lows around 39. Highs around 63 tomorrow. Sunny skies. Warmer Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the low 70s to the mid 70s. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 62 degrees.
See Nice Tire and Auto Service at 4792 Bluntstown Highway today. The ASE trained technicians at Nice take the guesswork out of fixing your car. That's why wherever you see the Goodyear sign, you'll find what you want in tires and service. From preventative maintenance to a major overhaul and everything in between, you name it. Plus, Nice's services are backed by a nationwide limited warranty. Stop by Nice Tire and Auto Service. 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The Bonko Lechong, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The Bonko Lechong, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com.
Fun to talk to Meech. We appreciate him. We appreciate Battle's End as well. And we'll have more of these in the not too distant future. I hope you enjoyed that. He's fun and funny. And we wish him luck as Pro Day gets rolling here. And obviously an opportunity maybe to further the dream, if you will. I hope so.
I think if his aspirations expand beyond just the NFL, I think he's a professional football player. There are several leagues.
I was going to say, I agree with that. If you really want to do it, that's the whole thing. I feel like coaching's in his future. He's played so much football. He's, I think he thinks the game. He's not. I don't want to knock the kid or he's a grown ass man, but he didn't get by being a physical freak. He got by understanding technique. He has a lot of size, so obviously that helps, but he's not an elite athlete. So that usually translates well to coaching.
It does. And sometimes it's strange. Some guys just find a way to get to a practice squad and they never let go, and they're part of organization after organization. One of my best friends growing up never was a good offensive lineman. His name was Teddy Larson, and he had a 10-year career in the league, was a part of the Miami Miracle for the Dolphins winning over the Patriots. He had a key block downfield. It might have been Gronk, or I forget who else was playing like deep.
It was Gronk who was in that deep center. And it cost the Patriots the game.
It did. And my man made the key block, but it's a nondescript career with one hell of a pension because you've been playing in the league for 10 years and you're right there. So who knows? Maybe that's the case of where Meech goes. I like that he's already ahead of the game in the broadcasting thing. He's thinking very much about hosting, asking questions, and that's a good job by the Battle's End to have that feature. Nice little bridge for a kid who's off to his next thing. Smart idea. And you could tell that he loves the hell out of doing stuff like this. So hopefully we get to see him again.
In the not too distant future, I assure you, there will be an interview that I did with CEO of the Battle's End, Ingram Smith. That is going to run at some point, maybe 3 weeks after I did it, but it's going to run. There are things that are out of our control when it comes to that. Really quickly, before I forget, get your week started right. Go over and see my friends at Social Kitchen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check them out online, socialkitchentlh.com. Get the prepared meals. This is the way to go. You get a chef's trio, if I could speak. All 3 meals. Put the order in. You're all set. This week, by the way, mango chicken, mushroom ravioli, and peach barbecue pork tenderloin. It's delicious. The meals are awesome. Cary Forest, swing in, or you order these online and swing in and pick them up on your way home. You're busy again. You ain't got time. Let my man, Chef Chris, get after it. There you go. Social Kitchen. Back to the sports. Tomorrow, it's a fun day. We're not going to learn a ton, but I'll get excited about watching those guys hit the field, and I want to see if the energy is the same. It was hot here this weekend, Tom. You would have been stunned. Now, it shifted to something cooler today. We'll see. But if it gets anything like it was over the weekend, I mean, we touched 88 yesterday, and I was thinking, what are we doing here?
Yeah. I think we have the same thing happening, but the spread is about 20 degrees worth of difference.
Yeah. You were 60s, yeah.
It's like 62, 63. People are walking around. It's so funny to be in the North for stuff like this. People's emotions legitimately 180, depending upon what the weather does. I'm feeling it. Like some of the cold days, you do get a little depressed. I'm learning. I'm learning on the fly. People yesterday are like, woo! Out on the streets, just like, oh my God. But I understand it. Now, the difference is back home there in Tallahassee, when you have that kind of shift, you go, ooh, I don't know. It's only March, guys.
Yeah.
I'm resigned that from late May into late October, this is where we live. But don't do it to me on St. Patty's Day. Come on now.
Yeah, because you know what's about to happen, and you know how long the heat stays, and so you get a little nervous. By the way, credit before we round out the hour. I know we were talking about a lot of different things this hour, and we had the interview. Credit to the women's basketball team. They're a number 9 seed. That is 11 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances, facing 8th-seeded Alabama in the first round. It'll be at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas, and the Noles are 23-10. And so we'll see how they do at the Texas host site there. But they made the tournament. So there you go.
Have you seen that building? Moody Center?
Mm-mm.
Dear God. I mean, it's one of those deals where we could really use that SEC windfall to get something like that going.
Well, Texas had money anyhow, but now they really
that's what we need to get something like that. I was like, oh my God. Wow.
Well, it would be nice. It'd be nice. It's also a reminder. I don't want to end the hour on a down note, but again, the men's team didn't make it, and it's so frustrating because you can have the conversation and be pragmatic the way that we have, but then the tournament's getting ready to start, and Selection Sunday happens, and when your team's not in it, you really leave crestfallen. Hour number 2 forthcoming. I'm returning back from the Moore Center after talking to the coaches. It'll be live. We'll be good to go. I think Ira Schoffel is going to join us as well. We'll see. Stay with us. 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Attention Florida, are you a victim of an auto accident? We introduce our live chat sponsor, Hyson Leaka Law Firm, dedicated to representing injured clients statewide. If you've been in an accident, call Hyson Leaka Law Firm at 813-803-0733 for a free consultation. Remember, there's no cost to you unless they win. Your interests come first with Hyson Leaka Law Firm, the name you can trust for justice. Call 813-803-0733 now or visit HysonLegalawFirm.com. Hyson Legal Law Firm,
Ready
your
for a breath of
advocates.
fresh air this tax season? Well, breathe easy with E&B Heating and Air. Don't miss out on federal tax incentives for new AC systems and heat pumps. Take advantage of up to $2,000 in tax credits, plus additional savings from city and manufacturer rebates. E&B Heating and Air Conditioning has been serving Tallahassee and surrounding areas since 1974. Call us today for your free estimate at 850-575-9119 or visit us online at enbheatandair.com. That's enbheatandair.com.
When I get home from work, I'm ready to relax. So I call Swain Pools and Spas and put my pool in the back. I call Swain Pools and Spas. Now I'm soaking up the fun when I want to.
Truckloads of new and used Caldera and Hot Spring Spas are available now at Swain Pools and Spas. Don't wait. Get to Swain Pools and browse the best inventory to find the spa of your dreams. These won't last long, so come see us today. Just look for the huge sign on Tharp Street or call 386-7113 for Swain Pools and Spas.
I know what you're thinking right now. Where can I find a place to get my car fixed and also check out some awesome new hot tubs and spas while I wait? Well, you're in luck. Because when you bring your car or truck in to get serviced at Tallahassee Car Care, it's under the same roof as Swain Pools and Spas for tires, brakes, batteries, tune-ups, oil changes, and all the service you need to get back on the road. Choose the certified technicians at Tallahassee Car Care. Drop by our shop on Tharp Street or visit online at TallahasseeCarCare.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take-home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat-screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT. Greta, Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Florida Gators headed to Indianapolis for the South region of the NCAA tournament on Friday. Opponent to be determined. A first four matchup between Colorado and Boise State will decide the Gators matchup in the first round. The Buffaloes are the 2.5-point favorite over the Broncos in Boise on Wednesday, total 138. Stetson, a 26.5-point dog against defending national champion UConn at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn Friday. Huskies, a 26.5-point favorite. They are 4-1 to repeat as national champions. South Florida left out of the NCAA tournament. They'll visit UCF for the NIT Tuesday as a 5-point underdog. Get your free VSiN subscription right now at VSIN.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Tax Talk with Straight Talk.
You give and you give. This tax season, you get with Straight Talk Wireless. You get a reliable 5G network and unlimited data and a Samsung Galaxy A14 included when you buy an extended Silver Unlimited plan. So you can give your janky phone to your kid. Yeah!
Switch to Straight Talk for plans starting as low as $25 a line per month for 4 lines. Find us at straighttalk.com. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com. Device offer ends 4/14/24. Online only. Family plan discount with 4 lines, all on the Silver Unlimited plan. Taxes and fees apply.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on Carol. She's more focused on hitting a high note than the car in front of her. Why pay a rate based on anyone else? Get one based on you with DriveWise from Allstate.
Not available in Alaska or California, subject to terms and conditions. Rates are determined by several factors, which vary by state. In some states, participation in DriveWise allows Allstate to use your driving data for purposes of rating. While in some states, your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Generally, safer drivers will save with DriveWise. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Indulge in the authentic Korean way of grilling right at your table at the all-new Chow One Korean Steakhouse in Tallahassee. All you can eat succulent beef, chicken, pork, and an amazing selection of fresh vegetables and homemade sauces crafted with all natural ingredients in a luxurious upscale dining environment. Chow One Korean Steakhouse. Experience the ultimate fusion of flavor and fun in Tallahassee. Enjoy happy hour from 4 to 7 daily. Located at 1107 Appalachia Parkway, just east of the Capitol Building.
If you've been waiting and waiting for the perfect time to buy your new house, you'll be waiting forever. This is Shannon Young with Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, and I have been a mortgage lender for over 20 years. And I can tell you that there is no such thing as perfect timing. So take the first step towards your new home and let me show you what that really looks like. Chances are very high that you'll be very surprised at what I can help you do. When rates go low, prices go high, and that home that you've been eyeballing could be gone. If you're wondering how the drop in interest rates is going to affect your payment, give me a call. I'll be more than happy to show you all of the options available to get you into your new home. And for every single loan that we close for a fellow Knoll, I will personally donate $250 per closing to the Battle's End. Let's do this together and let's keep climbing. Call me today at 954-369-6171. That's 954-369-6171. Or you can find me online at loansforknolls.com. That's loansforknolls.com.
NMLS 373031.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout, resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 30 cc.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2.
which is exciting to me. I think for a lot of other people too. It's just you can sense that they're very excited about the fact that the competition is going to be pretty intense, especially within a couple position groups. That secondary, in particular. Tom, by the way, funny stat. The first day of spring football means that we end up hyper focusing on spring football, but of course, as a multi-sport show, we care about the NCAA tournament, we care about the start of Major League Baseball, we care about a lot of things. Funny little stat: did you know that NC State? I'll just get this out there because I'm going to forget to do it otherwise, and I think it's funny. NC State was 100-1 to win the ACC tournament as a double-digit seed. So you could have sprinkled a little pizza money on 100-1 to watch NC State win 5 games in 5 days. 5 games in 5 days. Why do I bring it up? That's more wins at the Capital One Arena in D.C. than the Wizards have since April of last year. NC State won more games in 1 week than the Wizards have in the same arena since April of last year.
Yeah, it's March. It's March right now. We're talking about a calendar year's worth of time. Sweet. I was hoping for one magical week in Washington, D.C. I just thought it'd be for us, not for them.
No, not at all. Rather amazing. And the committee screwed it up again in a lot of ways. We'll get into it this week. I'm glad it's back. I love the tournament. We'll bet on it. We'll do all those things. Let's get to football here. I thought Mike was in great spirits. I had a chance to talk to him off the record just about his trip to Ireland a little bit, and that was nice. And we kind of compared notes, but he seems locked in and ready to go. And he noted, for a lot of people, I'm sure they'll cite this as well, that the program is one of only, I think, 5 in the country that has the coaching continuity where they bring everybody back, and they've added to it in the sense that infrastructure was brought up today, and how excited he is of what they've been able to do. The investment in the program, as he put it, he specifically cited the football-only facility as well as the stadium and other stuff regarding staffing and what they're doing. I think you get a sense from a reference there that they've just really begun where he wants to go on the heels of 13-0. And, yeah, we know how Florida State got snubbed, but we wondered how it might affect the program. I don't think it's going to. I think that they're hungry and angry and continuing to build on culture. Didn't you get the sense from what you watched that we provided for everybody there? All the Warchant team was there today. You got plenty of coaches' interviews. I talked to Tony Tokars at length. I'll get into that here in a second about what he said about the quarterback room, but they're very, very proud of the culture that they've created. And I think the reason that they are is that now that investment has proven true year over year, and that culture has won out, it makes it a lot easier to continue to build and move forward, because whether you're a freshman coming from the high school ranks or a transfer, you understand there's a modus operandi and a way of doing things that the players now control after having fully bought in year over year, and the success has also come. So I think that to me, the greater picture, bigger conversation was about the culture that exists here and how very proud they are that it has taken hold.
Yeah, they sound pumped up about all of those things. I think it does come from the winter conditioning because, when you think about that type of work, either the busy work or the stuff that's not so fun, typically you have to have a strong culture and a bunch of veteran leaders to set the pace, make sure everybody's accountable. Like in Florida State's golden era of 29 straight wins, how often did Jimbo Fisher bring up guys like LaMarcus Joyner, Telvin Smith, and Timmy Jernigan and others, James Wilder, who pushed each other? Well, in theory, we lost all of those guys. In theory, we lost just about every single one of those players or those types of players that were on 22 and 23. They came back last year and they go, and you just wonder, all right, is there a void? And who picks up that void? And for Mike Norvell to come out the gates in his press conference today and talk about how this was the best tour of duty, this is one of the best winter conditioning segments I've ever been a part of as a coach, and you could hear it. He was fired up about that. You're right. I think that is, you're taking pride as a coach in a player-run program and a player-run standard, and not necessarily that the coaches have to baby them from step to step to step. And one thing I heard a lot of today, just so you can go on Warchant TV when the show's over, all assistant coaches are available on the channel. I'm hearing a lot about the talent, the level of talent, the depth of talent. They're all very proud and ready to share the fact that they believe that there is a second wave and perhaps a third wave in some positions of players who are Florida State caliber. And they're looking at that and getting excited about what's to come here in spring camp.
Funny, Adam Fuller referenced today in passing. It wasn't part of the on-the-record discussion that we had, but I don't think he would mind me mentioning this because it's a positive for them and the way they view this. He goes back to talking about Jermaine Johnson, who was just in his office with Jared Verse, which is interesting. The two never got to play together, but there they are. And obviously both are huge supporters of Florida State, meaning that Jermaine comes back and works out and lives here in the off season when he's not playing for the Jets. And then Jared has shown obviously a passion for the other programs in the athletic department. He's often seen at softball games, baseball games, and the like, basketball, etc. And he says they're kind of cut from the same cloth in that regard. But what he was talking about, he actually referenced Keir Thomas, and he said how important Keir Thomas had been when his time was here. And he was talking about a lot of the guys that have led to this. I thought it was interesting that they've carried over the year-over-year conversation because it kind of marries nicely with what Coach Norvell said when asked about, a loss, a significant loss of talent on the defense and experience. And then he noted, well, we've got actually a lot of experience and a lot of guys that have played a ton of football. And I thought that was interesting because as he threw out the names, you realize he's right. Whether it's Azareye'h Thomas, whether it's Fintrell Cypress, whether it's Djax, who practiced every day last year, whether it's Shaheem Brown, whether it's Farmer, whether it's Patrick Payton, whether it's the return of DJ Lundy, go on and on and on. There's a lot of guys that have played a lot of football on that side of the ball that would make it that much easier to carry over what we're referencing, right? How things are done and why. And so I don't know that to me, I don't worry about some of the inexperience that's left on that side of the ball. I want to see the quality. I think the competition will bring out the quality, in particular in the secondary. I think we do know, though, that some guys are going to be limited in spring, and Coach Norvell basically kind of dodged the question. He said, I'll give you a greater idea of who's limited and who's not as we get into the week, as we start to know which players have an opportunity to come back before the end of spring, which are going to be limited in what they can do. We'll have the discussion basically a little bit later in the week, but he did hint that there might be a few guys. So there are some positions where I think the intensity of competition is what we're excited about, but it may be limited in the spring because a few of these guys are going to be able to do everything.
Well, I like what it does for the offensive line room. You want to see everybody participate. You want to see everybody practice. But Alex Atkins was willing to talk about a couple players specifically today. Yeah. One of those was Julian Armello will be working at guard. That makes a lot of sense. It does a lot of sense. But what's interesting about that is you pair that with the fact that Robert Scott's going to be limited for spring. And, this is something. It's somebody that you're not counting on. If he plays for you in the fall, it's a bonus. That's my personal take on it. I know you share that as well. If he does play, it's nice. There's a difference. But for now, since Alex Atkins was willing to say that on the record, okay, this tackle battle is going to be interesting because there are a couple of younger players that they could lean upon, especially if Armello is going to play guard. Jalen Early, is this your time? Lucas Simmons, how much can you handle? It also tells me that Darius Washington is probably going to be one of your two tackles. Jeremiah Byers, can you take a step forward? You were okay, but I mean,
he wasn't that good. No, yeah,
you're the other side of Jazz Turntine, probably. Like we might have liked Jazz in some situations a little bit better at that position. So this is going to be an interesting battle where, again, you have some names that you would expect to be starters, but if there are reps up for grabs, when the twos come out or you rotate them in and you cross-train, you get to see Lucas or Jalen Early up there with one of the ones. Okay, I'm very excited to see that.
Strongest, you reference it at the outset, strongest average, if you will, when we talk about bench, we talk about squat, we talk about clean, that the team's ever been. And that's despite losing some really strong dudes off that last year's football team. Pretty cool. They just continue to build on it. The only thing I cared about with that, and it's good to be strong, obviously, he didn't dwell on it. He just pointed it out. But hearing that Patrick Payton gained 15 pounds of muscle in the offseason already, okay. I mean, it's only March. We're doing some things here, and Patrick Payton needed to get bigger. He already had the skill set, the quickness, the length. timing, all those things are there for him. If he's going to get that much bigger and stronger, he may be a nightmare for opposing teams in the ACC. That's a guy who I think can play his way on up the draft boards, just like every of the other defensive ends that we keep talking about here.
It's that's doing some things. That's
yeah.
It's the Bama table, because you think about it, you're going to mend your wounds from the season itself and camp and the final, the oranges, I should say the practices for the bowl. And then, what happens late in December, like you're not done working in December. And you're essentially from that point putting on 5 pounds a month of muscle while you're doing tour of duty workouts. Okay, that's very impressive. That's very Bama table-esque. I like that number.
We spent a long time worried that we did not have what it takes to be the benefactor of the so-called Bama table, as I branded it years ago. And I wanted to know when we would be fully committed to the kind of strength and conditioning it takes to win in big-time college football. I think we've finally graduated to that place, because you can look around this roster and you can hear stats like that. You can look out on the field and you can hear the weightlifting numbers and just recognize that we have graduated to a new place that is now consistent. It's not a player here or there that just might happen to be a freak. It's not a transfer that comes in and shows you what's possible, like Jermaine Johnson did when he got here, and we all went, there's nobody on the team that looks like that except for that dude, which was an indicator of how far behind we were of the elite programs. Yeah, the Bama table has been fully embraced, and they are all in on proper nutrition and weightlifting and what it takes from a commitment standpoint to win and win big and get big. Get big, look big, be strong, all those things. That's there. It'll be fun tomorrow to go out there and begin to see those body types. It's also fun to hear of the excitement, the enthusiasm, the embracing of the culture that we referenced a moment ago by the newcomers. In fact, the quote, and I have it written here because I thought it was fascinating. Here it is on my note sheet. Lots of teams, other teams, have brought in more transfers than we have, yet people point to us. It's about getting the right guys. It's about being right. He's proud. He's proud that they have created a way to discern whether or not you're willing to sacrifice for those around you for the betterment of the team. Quote, we want guys that care about others, guys that want to make others better. That's another quote from Mike Norvell. Yeah, that's what's won over. That's how you've been able to recruit over top of kids that were already here and we don't read about, hear about, or witness all kinds of culture rot. You don't see it. It doesn't happen. The guys that come in, whether they're freshmen from high school, whether they're transfers coming in, or they are players that return from the year before and witness others coming in at their position, because the through line is that this buy-in to sacrifice for the greater good stuff that a lot of times makes people roll their eyes. If you're not winning games, it makes everybody roll their eyes. But they are winning games. They're winning lots of games. In fact, they won all of them except for the non-participation bowl game. I mean, that's the difference. Now you can believe it because the ammunition is the winning on the field.
Well, the other part is they don't have the time to worry about it. You don't have time. The competition's here. And if you want to pout about it, then you're not going to play here. Might as well move on your way. If you're not going to hit the gym and do whatever it needs to be done to be a good football player and a developing football player, you're going to get beaten camp by that player. So you don't have the time. You might as well just go now or you're going to lose the job unless you commit to doing things the right way. Because if you do and you listen to your coaching and you take those steps forward, you're going to be the one to win those drills. You're going to be the one to put the film out there that gets you to play. In short, competition knocks out all of that nonsense. A lot of complacency sets in when you've got guys who are in fixed positions. They know they're the starters, and it's either that or their coach is going to protect them, like a couple of diminutive wide receivers for Florida State in 2014 and 2015. Mistakes are made, but there's no accountability. That's the whole thing here. You don't have time to pout. Because the moment you do, you're playing for Colorado or you're playing for somebody else. You're not playing for Florida State.
The question was asked of Mike with a 40% turnover in roster. He said it's close to what it was a year ago at 35% or thereabouts. The percentage has more to do with the new age of college football and the way you recruit. It's about being right. That's a let's carry over from what I said before. There are others who have brought in more transfers than us. People mention us, though. It's about it's about finding the right guys who are the right fit. There it is. There it is. That explains how they're able to do it without people getting angry and transferring left and right. Because that question is asked of me all the time. How do guys do this? Well, this is how they've done it. And they are kind of the poster child right now for doing it right, getting it right more consistently than most of the other programs that you witness who bring in big numbers of transfers. I mean, everybody out there has brought in a guy and they can give you an illustration or an example where it worked out for them. But when you do it in mass like this and you sustain excellence and you grow the program simultaneous, then you're clearly doing it right.
But that's the other part of it too, is the consistency of message from the head coach down to the position coaches, down to whatever liaisons that you have within the football program, day-to-day counseling, whatever it is. And then also the NIL organization, like all of that matters. Like, how many times when the boys were younger, did Bryce get a no from mom and ask you, or Clark get a no from you and he went over and asked Christy the same question to see if he could get a different answer? There are a lot of programs around the country where the coach may say one thing, but maybe the NIL collective says another, or vice versa, and there's not a streamlined message and you're all pulling in the same direction. But, the reputation of the collective we have is the money's good. They make their payments. The money's good. It's competitive. So that's not a problem. So the only problem at this point, if you're not getting the results you want, is you, the player. You can't point your finger anywhere else. And again, in and of itself, that creates a great set of policing that the coaching staff doesn't have to consider. Because if they had a money barrier, then the coaching staff would be stressed all the time because they know that they're only going to get a player to a certain aptitude level, then he's going to go peace and go play for somebody else, like an Alabama or like an Ohio State, because they've got more in the way of dollars. Like, all of it is pulling in the right direction. I just hope it can keep going, because this program momentum is going up, and the only thing that could stop it is themselves, I would say, at this point, because another year where he is proud of the work they put in the offseason. It's impressive. Now they just need to stay healthy and have a good camp.
C. Rosa asks, what's the potential for Brock to take the QB1 position from DJU? I asked that question specifically to Tony Tokars. I will give you that answer, what he had to say when we come back. Ira Schoffel will also be set to join us on the other side of this. It's Jeff Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
You probably already know that Pinch a Penny Pools and Spas is your one-stop destination for all pool maintenance needs, offering everything you need from chemicals, cleaners, vacuums, nets, and more. But that's not all. Pinch a Penny also carries a huge selection of premium hot springs hot tubs paired with easy financing options, making these luxury hot tubs affordable for everyone. And if you have an older hot tub and you're worried about the hassle of removing it, worry no more. Pinch a Penny will not only remove and haul away your old hot tub, but also offer a trade-in value for a credit towards your new one. So why wait? Visit Pinch a Penny's 12,000 square foot showroom today on Greer Road and discover how effortless and affordable owning a fantastic hot tub can be. Find out more at TallahasseeHotSpring.com. That's TallahasseeHotSpring.com.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
Zaxby's Sensation Salad is so much more than a plain old salad. It's a salad, which begs the question, at what point does a salad stop being a salad and become a salad? Is it when you add Zaxby's fried chicken to it? Crunchy wontons? Asian slaw? Citrus vinaigrette? Teriyaki glaze? Sweet and spicy sauce? Or is it when you top it all with a handmade, perfectly fried egg roll? Without a doubt, the egg roll. The Sensation Salad, only at Zaxby's.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Oh my God, what happened to you? You're walking so crooked.
Well, I was walking my alligator and I tripped on a cypress knee and I spilled my margarita.
Oh my gosh, your margarita.
Yeah, I blown my back completely out. I had to ride the alligator home. I don't know what to do. My back's killing me.
You're such a Florida man. You should know you should go to Finn Chiropractic.
Really?
You can go to their website and book an appointment and get you in as soon as possible. Go to finnchiro.com. FENN.
You mean 24 hours a day I can make my appointment online and pay for it?
Yep, right on their website.
Wow, and it's discounted?
Yeah.
All right, that's what Florida man needs to do.
No lines, no waiting. Visit fenchiro.com to book your next appointment with a discount. FENNCHIRO.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com. It's Fen Chiropractic, where the chiropractors love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Hold my beer. I'm going to Finn Chiropractic.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State.
Heisen Lincoln Law Firm chat here in just a second. But first, let's put up here for people on the chat watching what's going on with Garnet and Gold. Go save some money, man. This is an awesome, awesome deal. Take me out to Warchant Day is what you got here. Take me out to the ballpark. Indeed, look at the gorgeous, you guys can't see it out there, but the jerseys to be garnered and worn at the baseball games, the undefeated baseball team appreciate you. There is Tuesday, March 19th. That's tomorrow. If you are a Warchant subscriber and only a Warchant subscriber, you save 25% off all FSU baseball items at Garnet and Gold. I particularly like this gold one. If you're looking on the screen, it's just stunning. It's beautiful. 25% for Warchant subscribers at Garnet and Gold. That's what you're saving if you go tomorrow to pick up your gear. And there's a lot of other gear there too that's sweet. And I actually owe Garnet and Gold a visit. Just thought I'd make mention of that. That's an aside. We had a question in the Heisen Lincoln Law Firm chat that I mentioned I'd get to before the break. And that question had to do with what's the potential for Brock Glenn to take the QB1 position from DJU. I asked a very similar, if almost verbatim, question of that to Tony Tokars, the quarterback coach. I've now sat down with him for 3 years in a row, thoroughly enjoyed that. He was ready for our conversation this year, smiled, and we got caught up. And I asked him about, the tough stuff that Brock had to deal with at the end of last year. Of course, he had an injury during much of the year, so he's thrown into the mix, and then he watches as you guys go bring in, another quarterback who presumably is brought in to start. I mean, that guy's played a ton of football. He didn't come here to sit. And he said, well, it's in the core of our DNA of the program to just go out and compete every day. The challenge to you as a player in this program is, can you put good day upon good day and stack that upon another good day and then another good day? If you get better and work to that end every day, then interesting things can happen and have. So That's a hell of an answer, first of all. I like that. Look, you can perceive whatever you want to perceive, but if you go put in the work and have a good day and follow it up by another good day, and you stack those days upon one another, nothing is out of the question. And that is how you, I think, foster elite competition. I think that's what you're talking about. It's not about the perception that this guy has been here for 4 years and I've been here for 2 and I can't knock him off his pedestal, or I've been here for 2 and now you're bringing in a guy who's played 3 years of football in front of me and I'm assuming you brought him in to play, so I'm just going to what? Go through the motions? No, he's saying everybody, including the newcomers and anybody else, even a guy who came in behind you like Luke Kromenhoek. If he comes in and stacks good day upon good day upon good day, interesting things can happen. And that's true because we've seen it happen at that position in particular, by the way. So that's what's interesting to me. I thought it was a great answer. Let's go talk to my man, Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com, who, of course, was there today as well. Hello, Ira. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, Jeff. How are you?
I'm good, man. I was just going through a quote from Tony Tokars in my conversation with him about the quarterback battle. And, I thought one of the things that kind of they celebrated a little bit today from Mike on down was just how proud they are to have really ingrained and built a culture that is now owned by the players and helps them build upon the successes year over year. That seemed to resonate with me. What else resonated with you?
Yeah, I think, clearly Mike Norvell wanted to hammer home the point also that this is not a team. There's a lot of attention on the newcomers, especially the transfers, because they're at some marquee positions. But it seemed like he wanted to hammer home the message that, we also return a bunch of guys, a lot of guys at key positions, a lot of guys who maybe didn't start in the past, but they're guys who have played a lot of football, and now maybe they're moving into a starting role, maybe they're moving into a leadership role. But this isn't necessarily a team that's really even reloading. It's more like just continuing the next step of their journey. So I think, and, talking to coaches on both sides of the ball, I kind of got that sense. They feel very confident that there's no, starting over really at any position. I guess certainly wide receivers probably one. You'd make that argument. But even there, they kept pointing to the Kentron Portiers and the guys who've been in the system for a long time.
Yeah, you asked that question specifically, and he said that, look, I mean, we had 24 guys that were active last year defensively. We played a ton of guys, AZ, Fintrell, Shaheem, Farmer, Peyton, Lundy, Djax. He talked about a lot of guys. And as he did that, as he went through the litany of guys, I kind of thought, well, damn, he's right. All those dudes played a ton.
Yeah, they did. And really, and he's talking about the offense. He pointed out that, usually offensive line is the position you're most concerned about when it comes to continuity when you're bringing in new guys. I think, going back to, I remember Jimbo Fisher used to talk about the guys further away from the ball, meaning physically on the field. It's usually easier to get them involved in a new system than it is the guys close to the ball, which is the lineman and maybe the quarterback. And, so yeah, you've got some new faces at wide receiver on offense. You've got some new faces, some of the skill positions. But the offensive line's got a lot of guys who play a lot of football, and then even in the backfield, Lawrence Toafili and some of those guys. So, yeah, it's probably there's more continuity than we probably realize because we do hyper focus in the offseason on a lot of the transfers.
And that continuity, as he pointed out, includes having the exact same staff come back, right? I mean, yeah. He was proud of that, happy about that. Guys turned down positions at other places to come back here because he likes the thought of where this thing is building towards. I thought it was interesting when you asked him about whether they'll have to take it a little bit slower, in particular because you're breaking in a new quarterback. But he did say that he wants to push them there, and he wants to make the quarterbacks, amongst other potential starters, he wants to make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, too, the way he talked about that. Almost like we're not just trying to set them up for success. They need to fail, and that's how we're going to find out what they really need to work on during the rest of the offseason. In some ways, spring football it's important, and it's important for a lot of reasons. But one of the things is it really creates the opportunity for them to know what they need to work on during those months between the end of spring and then August when camp starts. Well, I guess this year in July when camp starts, but really gives them an idea of what they need to work on. And so, yeah, if you just kind of set it up to where they can have success and get confidence, you're probably not going to find out everything you really need to work on.
Going back to something you mentioned that he alluded to at wide receiver and where it's perceived that, you're breaking in guys, but I thought it was important that we weren't surprised to hear him mention Destin Hill. We were not surprised to hear him mention Hakeem. Of course, he led the discussion by talking about Kentron and saying that he wanted to see him take another step. I thought that was interesting to specifically call him towards the you need to take another step conversation because that's in there. He wouldn't say that if he didn't believe it, right? We saw glimpses of it throughout his career, including in the bowl game most recently, where he was one of only a couple of players where you could be excited about the way they played against Georgia. But he also mentioned, Ira, and am I reading too much into this? He also mentioned Vendravius Jacobs. Maybe that young man is taking a step, and I'm excited to hear it.
I know you are. I know we all would be.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly those old guys, the focus is going to be on them right now. Kentron and Darion Williamson and some of those guys who have been around for a long time, Ja'Kai Douglas, to step up and be leaders. But also, like Vendravius was the guy we thought, based on last spring, was going to make an impact in the fall, and that never happened. Well, it's not like it would be a time to panic if it doesn't happen this year. But there's nothing saying it can't happen this year. They have wide open positions. And so, Destin Hill, Hakeem Williams, even some of the younger guys, I think, Jalen Brown transfers in from LSU. And, he didn't play much at LSU, but he's a guy that was super talented too. So, I think all the focus is on Malik Benson, rightfully so, because he's got the biggest name, the biggest pedigree. But there's wide open competition for those young guys, and you want to see them take it.
I guess I'm kind of wondering where we'll all get to see it. Start tomorrow. We'll all be out there. It'll be exciting. I guess, how do you envision, I want to get your kind of projections before the first snap of camp happens. How do you think we are going to be describing DJ Uiagalelei at the end of this camp? What do you think we're going to say about him when this is all said and done through spring?
It's a good question. I think we're going to feel, I think there's going to be some confidence about him, but I think it's going to take a while to kind of get a feel for exactly, how he's being used. Like we had so much time with Jordan Travis, going back 4 years. And so we saw his development kind of take place over time. So with DJ, I think it's going to be interesting. And that's kind of why I asked that question is like, is he going to have the full playbook? Is it going to be scaled down? Is it going to be, is he going to be, obviously he's going to take a lot of shots with that big arm, but is he going to be asked to really use the whole field right away, or is that going to develop over time? I think we're going to feel good about it, but I can't imagine we're going to come out of the spring thinking, okay, this guy's going to pick right up where Jordan Travis left off. I think those 3 or 4 months between the spring and July are probably going to be a big deal for him too.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have questions too. I agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot of good things, especially with the big arm and the speed that they have at receiver now. But I think we're going to have days where we go, ooh, man, a lot of work here. But that's okay, because then we have to remind ourselves that that's what spring is for, right? That's what's kind of what Mike was talking about. Well, brother, I know you're on the Smash tonight, and so folks can tune on in to get the insights and the other observations that you have on Warchant TV, 7 o'clock tonight, right?
Yep. Sounds great, man.
Looking forward to it. Be good, brother.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thanks.
Yeah, man. That's Ira Schoffel, Warchant.com, of course, my cohort here at Warchant. And I love spring. I especially love spring when you bring in a bunch of talented dudes and we want to, kind of see how they fit into things and the competition that they create. It'll be fun. It'll be really fun. Hey, by the way, attention, Florida. Are you a victim of an auto accident? We introduce our live chat sponsor, Heisen Legal Law Firm, dedicated to presenting injured clients. Representing is the better way of saying that statewide. If you've been in an accident, call Heisen Legal Law Firm at 813-803-0733 for a free consultation. Remember, there's no cost to you unless they win. Your interests come first with Heisen Legal Law Firm, the name you can trust for justice. Call 813-803-0733 now or visit HeisenLegalLawFirm.com. Heisen Legal Law Firm, your advocate in times of need. Offices, Tampa.
News now.
The owner of a St. George Island swimming pool company was sentenced to 40 months in prison and 20 years probation Friday after being accused of defrauding homeowners in Franklin, Leon, and Gulf counties in 2022. Tracy McLean took a plea deal pleading no contest to organized fraud of $50,000 or more. As part of the deal, McLean has to pay back $389,520 to the 23 customers he scammed. Investigators said he took large deposits to install in-ground residential swimming pools. However, he never completed the installations. A fugitive on the run across the country was caught in Wakulla County. Sheriff's Office deputies and U.S. Marshals arrested Cody Ellenson Thursday at a home in the Newport community. He and a woman were on the run for a shooting in December. He is also wanted in Wyoming for a sex crime on a child and for burglary. The woman was caught in Nebraska. Ellenson is now in the Wakulla County Jail, where he'll stay until authorities take him back to Wyoming. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A blend of clouds and sun this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 72. Northwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Mainly clear tonight, lows around 39. Highs around 63 tomorrow. Sunny skies. Warmer Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the low 70s to the mid 70s. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 68.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
Your heating and air conditioning system doesn't check with you before it takes a break. That's why we're always ready to help. Any day, anytime, anywhere. And with our annual service agreement, there are no overtime charges. Ever. At Verno Heating and Air, we will always be there for you.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
License CC 116186.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu. Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The panko lechon, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The panko lechon, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on and Northside.
For over 19 years. So I don't know why you wouldn't support them in the same way that they support FSU and support us, right? That's what you would do. You'd go make it happen. Hopefully this past weekend, maybe on Friday, as you made your way out to the ballpark, you got yourself some platters. Platters would have been delightful on a Friday. I know on Saturday afternoon, I got just a classic Zaxby's chicken sandwich.
And solid as a rock, my man. You can. That is always, it hits the spot. That'll be me on Saturday, getting the classic sandwich. That's how it all Zaxby's begins. Then a couple of days for maybe work next week. I don't know. Are you going to be shipping me over to the practice fields on Tuesday? Can I ride with you, buddy?
Next Tuesday. Jump in next Tuesday, a week from tomorrow. I was going to say, you flying in tonight?
No.
Yeah, that'd be fine. That'd be good. Jump on in. I'm excited about it. Go ahead.
I was going to say, if FSU baseball makes it out of this month undefeated, we're starting to get equal on the win totals and the fingers in a platter, like win for finger in every single one. those things, those will last you a little bit, unless you're tailgating with a large crowd. Then get 2 with a bunch of sauces.
I will also say that, buddy, the wins just keep on coming in a way that really, really make me smile. I'm so happy. I know we mentioned it in the first hour from this morning in order to have that cover hour that we needed to go over and be a part of the luncheon today and to interview coaches. But I mean it sincerely. I love Florida State baseball. I have long been an advocate in the sense that I like talking about it on the show because I belong to a community that cares about it. And I get that that's one of the perks of the job doing sports talk in Tallahassee. There aren't too many places that would allow you to talk college baseball with any degree of enthusiasm without folks getting angry. But it's just cool to see a guy like Lincoln, to see the program turn around. It's always been a big part of this city for me and the university. So they're, whatever is going to happen. They're going to win some games or lose some games. There's going to be series where they don't play well. It's going to happen because that's what baseball does. But for as prolonged as it's been right now, for them to keep winning this way, it's just silly. I mean, they're winning in every possible manner, all of the categories that you want to see. Can you win a close game? Can you win a game that is pitching dominant? Can you win a game where your defense carries the day? Has there been moments where your base running led you to the victory, or taking that extra base put you in a position to get the run needed that went on to become the winning run? Can you hit for power? Do you throw strikes? Do you have good at bats? They do all of the things through 18 games exceptionally well.
It is detail sound. That's the thing. You wouldn't have swept this weekend if you weren't detail sound. And you could power your way past a lot of teams, but Notre Dame plays good defense too. They pick up the ball. I thought they showed a lot of heart on Friday specifically, where we hit them with a barrage. Yeah, they score first, but then we hit them with a barrage. They get out of a jam where we have the bags loaded, and they hold us down to 6 for a good long period of time. But we didn't wither. As they get it down, starts to get a little closer. We pull back, push away from them. Did it on Tuesday in Gainesville too. That's another example of where maybe if you're a front runner and you get out to a lead like that, you give it all back. You give it all away to the Gators on the road because you're not ready for prime time yet. But Florida State tacked on more runs. Carson Dorsey pitched to the tune of getting 8 guys in a row after serving up the grand slam in a single. He got 8 guys in a row. Everybody settled down. Like all of those little things mend, winning streaks and keep them going. Especially in baseball, where a lot of weird stuff happens, you have to have different phases of the game show their head in a good way. And we run the bases well. You're right. We pick up the baseball. And I was just very impressed this last week how Dorsey got some big outs. Leiter had a big, I think, was it 10 pitches, 12 pitches, strikes out the side on Friday night. Oxford gets 3 or 4 king-sized outs this weekend on Friday and Saturday. Noah Short was good too. Like that. Okay, we have some guys who can find the outs, and I think more solutions are coming too. Rowan wasn't ready for prime time. You saw that on Friday. One batter, Link's like, nope, not yet. But that's coming. That's coming very soon too.
Jacob asks in the Heisen Legal Law Firm chat room, do you think that Roydell Williams will start? You're referencing the running back that came over from Alabama, and I guess to answer it succinctly, I do. I do. I think he will. Now, they're going to do what they do, which is rotate a ton of people in because you've got other guys that are very, very talented and reasons to be excited. But this thing about Roydell is he's 217 pounds and, he's coming in here as a veteran. So it's not like he's, a freshman that you're having to worry about here, Tom. And so I think he will start. I would be surprised if he didn't. That said, again, I get very excited about some of the other guys. In particular, you have heard me mention him numerous times. Cam Davis is a true freshman. I think he's going to play. Keziah Holmes is going to play. I mean, they got people. Lawrence Toafili is going to play. I mean, they got guys. Hell, I think there'll be spots for Jalen Lucas.
Yeah.
Spark plug.
Well, they've got a lot of variety of how they want to line things up, especially if they ever do what I'm begging for, which is go 6 offensive linemen from time to time. But they've got a lot of variety. If they want to bring speed to the table in a given week, they can. If they want to bring ground and pound, they can. I found it interesting that Chris Thompson spoke today on the biggest thing that Kyle Morlock needed to do was hit the gym and improve his gym numbers to get stronger so he can become, quote unquote, a dominant blocker. And Thompson thinks he can get there through work with Josh Storms in the gym. Well, I don't care who it is, whether it's Kyle Morlock or somebody else in the roster. If you can find somebody who can block at that position and do so with consistency, that opens up another element of whether you want to bring multiple backs on the field at the same time, what you can do position-wise in terms of, do you want an inline tight end or a lead back for a guy like Roydell in short yardage instead of having to go to a DJ Lundy? Like, there's a lot to sort out. Like, the fun part is that they're talented, they're fast, and they're strong. But the challenge is you got to sort out all of these little parts you have and then have it tell a story in an offense. And I think that's what spring's going to be about. My guess is you're going to see a whole lot of different stuff in spring, and they might be just trying to find out what sticks and what works.
I'm going to tell you that I think a couple things are going to be true of spring. It's going to be disjointed. A lot of spring football practices are. You're going to have a good day followed by a sloppy day, followed by a frustrating day, followed by a great day, followed by a, got this to work on, because you have a lot of new parts to deal with and a new quarterback. You're going to have some days that really, really get you excited about what they're trying to do. And I don't want to jump the gun, but I heard two separate coaches today. One of them was Tony Tokars. You just mentioned Chris Thompson. I heard him mention it too. Maybe I heard three coaches today. One that I was not interviewing. I just heard him say the phrase as I was passing by. But you know what I heard a lot of today, Tom, was play action. So here we go. This is my cup of tea, baby. Here it comes. We're going to bludgeon your ass, and then we're going to throw over the top. I think that's what they want to do. I think the personnel suggests that. I think the quarterback's arm suggests that. The speed they brought in, the folks we have in terms of the offensive backfield, the strength numbers, the size of the offensive line. Buddy, I think they're going to run the ball, people, and they're going to throw the ball down the damn field. They are going to hit big-time shots down the field.
The question is, how does that blend with tempo, and what formations do you use? Do you bring some we talked about this last week, but do you put DJU under center at any point and get straight downhill with it? Like, that's going to be the fun part of what they sort out. But, play action is derived from what? The ability to successfully run the ball. They didn't run the ball successfully as they wanted to last year. So I'm sure if there's something outside of the committee that they could be pissed about as to what happened last year, it'd be that they did not run the ball with the consistency and the explosiveness that they wanted to. 2022 was a better year on the ground than last year was, period. So if they can get back to that place, then with this quarterback's arm and the speed they have on the perimeter, yeah, things can get fun. And it also is fun to see a guy like Roydell Williams line up out there. Like, he and Toafili are a perfect pairing because of the variety of things that they can do. I think that would be very difficult to defend if you're in a two-back and you see Roydell and Toafili, because it could go any which way.
Well, one thing that we know about Mike, no matter whether it was at Memphis or his early years here, is that he'll be frustrated by last year's inability to consistently win first down and run the ball. He'll be mad about that, and he'll want to rectify that. He'll be very, very hell-bent on doing so. And again, I think we see personnel decisions that represent that. Tim, I see you there. Great meeting you and Corey before the baseball game Saturday. Yes, it was. Which one of the three defensive end transfers have put on the most amount of muscle and look different from their previous school? Can you give me, Tim? I appreciate you weighing in here. Can you give me till tomorrow? I'm going to see him tomorrow. I'm going to see him in action tomorrow. I saw him in the tour of duty, and I was impressed by all three of the newcomers. So I'm talking about Marvin Jones Jr., obviously, the kid from Oregon State, Lola. Yeah, that was, and even the West Virginia. No, we got. Let me get a good long look at him tomorrow, Tim, and I'll give you a better answer.
It sounded like lining up Durajaye in different spots was something that Adam Fuller is considering. It's a lot of weight. He's got a lot of weight on him. And I'm not saying it's too much. I'm just saying if you did want to move him around, maybe make him an interior specialist on, say, third and passing.
Yeah,
okay.
We've done it before. Yeah, you could do it. You could do it.
They are large bodies. That was something you could tell from the tour of duty and photos. I'm sure it looks that way in reality as well. But you see why Marvin Jones Jr. is a 5-star. Like that frame is
the frame. Yeah.
everything about it says professional. Now the question is, when he gets in one-on-one drills and combo passing and running blocking drills, how consistently does he win? Because now we've got such a frame of reference. That's the other fun part, is the continuity of what we get to do as media members. It was cut by COVID for a long period of time, but now you saw what it was like when the team was capable of winning just a few games, then 10, then going undefeated in the ACC. There's a through line that we have, a frame of reference to know whether, like, if Marvin stands out, well, you've just seen Jared Verse and Jermaine Johnson in recent years. So if he stands out, that's a good sign, because we've got a frame of reference of a bunch of NFL-type players at the position.
Durajai, you mentioned he's big. Specific to the question, has gotten bigger since they came over. I don't know what he weighed at West Virginia, but he's listed 280 here. So he's a monster. I have to go back and look at what he was at West Virginia, but I think it's got to be somewhere in that neighborhood, right? I mean, he's only been here a short period of time. He's huge. Now, I will tell you, you mentioned the body type of Marvin Jones Jr. That has me excited because I saw an athlete moving at 250 plus pounds. And again, I'm biased, yes, because his father is my favorite player in Florida State history. But if you have that DNA, those genes, and you're 250 plus and you were a 5-star guy, you come in here with that strength, and it's go time already, right? It's time to do something. This has to be kind of a prove-it year for you. I suggest we're going to see him get even bigger, even stronger, and take a huge leap in terms of production on the field this year. That was – he might have been a little bit buried at Georgia. He started to play more towards the end of the year. I think there was a acclimation period that went a little longer than folks would have liked for a 5-star. We may be getting him at just the right time. And I tend to think that that's true. We're getting him right at the moment where all of those pressures come together, and he's of the right mentality and the right maturity. I'm excited. There's so many guys. This is what's different, guys, is that as the program's gotten better, again, the floor continues to be raised, and you have to go segment group by segment group, and you say, I'm excited about this guy, this guy, this guy. It's always in multiples. It's very rarely singular. Good work out of you, Tom. Good work out of you, director, as always. You see Tom and Ira tonight on the Smash 7 o'clock Warchant TV. Be good, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. It's good to be back with you. Peace.